Hi everyone and welcome back to the Shanity Show. Apparently, I like torturing myself with Christmas movies, specifically not so great adaptations of A Christmas Carol. I'm really nervous about this one. And it's not because I don't think Disney can't do it, but at the same time, it's Disney. When did this come out? Okay, so this one came out back in 2009. It has a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes. I love the George C. Scott version, I love the Mickey Mouse version, and I love the Muppet version. Those ones are the top tier. They hit all the right notes for what they're trying to do. The George C. Scott one hits the emotions. I think a large part of it for me was the animation, but again, it's a situation where the other ones that I've watched and that I love, they hit the notes in the right way. And like with the Muppet one, they know they're Muppets, so it's like it's not going to take itself super seriously, but it does hit the more serious notes properly while also respecting the Muppets as characters and actors in their own way, and also respecting the original work. The Mickey Mouse one, again, same thing. The thing is too, is with Disney, like, it could potentially be good. I've heard that it is good. There is a part of me that does have some slight hope because it was 2009 and around that time, you know, Disney was okay, or like not okay, it was in a good sweet spot for Disney movies at the time. This person put, in the end, the only emotion generated is anger that this is how a whole generation of kids will get their first taste of A Christmas Carol. If I have any kids, this is not how they're getting their first Christmas Carol. They're getting the Muppet one and they're getting the Mickey Mouse one. And then once they're old enough, they're going to watch the George C. Scott one, because the George C. Scott one is a little bit darker and nitty grittier. Someone else, chilly, cold to the touch interpretation. I don't know about that because this is Disney, especially comparing it to George C. Scott and even to an extent Patrick Stewart's, because as much as I did not like Patrick Stewart's, like that did have quite a few dark moments. Let's go ahead and watch. I don't want to watch this, but we're gonna do it for YouTube. Okay, what is this introduction with the red ball? What company is this? I have not heard of this company, because I want to look them up now. Image Movers Digital. Okay, so it's this. Okay, that makes sense. It's the same company who did the Polar Express. Makes sense why the animation is similar. Okay, excuse the fact that I'm eating pizza roll. I made these on the day I'm recording this, and something I will give this movie is that this introductory music is fun. I like that. I'm really worried about, what's his name? Jim Carrey? I feel bad. The Grinch. Oh, Gary Oldman's in it as Marley. Oh my gosh, and Colin Firth. Jeez. Gary Elway is in this. Bob Hoskins. That name sounds familiar. What's he been in? Oh, he's in this. He was. Like his name. Valiant. Eddie Valiant and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He's in this. Maybe because I am older watching this, the animation's not as freaky. It kind of reminds me of the Barbie movies almost. The old Barbie movies. But at the same time, it's like still kind of like, I don't really like it. I will say that it is kind of funny that the Undertaker's like moving forward, like, hey, pay me properly. And Scrooge is like going back. It really kind of sucks because a lot of the actors that I like are in this. Something else I miss is the narration, because the George C. Scott one has the narration by Fred's actor, and then the Muppets one has the narration by Gonzo and Rizzo. But as I was saying, it's like, there's a lot of actors and actresses in this that I like, but like so far it's not really wowing me. And like, yeah, I do have my own high standards, and maybe I should lower it considering it's Disney and considering the animation. Andrea Bocelli sings God Bless Us Everyone. Some parts of this are so quiet and other parts are loud. I kind of feel bad for Bob. He looks so raggedy in this. It's like, if you like take it out of context, like for me, if I take it out of context of having loved and watched the George C. Scott one, the Muppet one, the Mickey Mouse one, having watched and loved those ones multiple times, this one individually, like the animation on its own, just where I froze, just where I paused it. Anyway, the animation on its own, it's okay. It's not my favorite, but like, whatever, I can get over it. Again, Jim Carrey, the acting and stuff, I can kind of get over it. But putting it together, like, especially considering this movie and the story, Jim Carrey is not delivering the lines in a way that I feel was really powerful in the other renditions, like the George C. Scott one or the Muppet one. It's almost like he's a little too calm in this. Like he's just like not angry enough at Christmas, like not bitter enough about Christmas. He's like, okay, yeah, a little bit bitter, but it's like, okay, whatever, you know. That's almost the vibe of how these lines are being delivered. Like, every idiot who goes around with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly in his heart. It doesn't feel emotional enough, like bitter enough. It doesn't feel mean enough. I mean, he is a good actor. Again, all these actors are good and have a good resume behind them, but at the same time, it's just like he is putting a little bit more emotion into it, and it's on the path to being the right emotion. But it's like basing it off of Muppet and George C. Scott ones, like those got it right.
Christmas Day, losing your situation.
I feel bad for Cratchit, mainly because of how it looks, and then like everything. It's just like, oh, poor Cratchit, you know, but it's like 90% of it is because of how he was animated. Fred's little speech just makes me kind of giggle. He was letting the card burn.
Yes,
I wanted to see it burn. Guess it's like a representation of me wanting to see this burn down. Maybe it will crash and burn. Again, I'm really not liking the voice he's trying to do for Scrooge. I feel like it's not enough of the right emotions that other actors have conveyed better. Some friends have enjoyed this one, and it's like, I'm happy that they can enjoy this one, but I am not surprised that I'm not enjoying this. It is a bit of a bummer that I'm not enjoying this, and we're only like almost 14 minutes in. It's not a surprise, but it is a little bit of a bummer. Oh geez, now I'm really concerned as to what Tiny Tim and Mrs. Cratchit will look like. I'm sorry, it's just, I don't know, the laugh he was doing and how excited Cratchit is. Oh my god. I almost want to see him trip and fall. It's like, you were too old for that. Like, okay, you get along with the kids, but like, you were too old for that, Cratchit. Okay, with the one bell ring at a time. Again, that would be creepy if I wasn't already kind of feeling like this was goofy, you know? That's annoying. The camera shaking is not helping. This just all feels kind of silly. Okay, so he goes through the door. Which, again, like, I think, like, the chain blocks and stuff going through, I feel like that would have been, like, an effective scare if it was really trying to make this scary. But again, it's Disney, so it's not really going to do anything really scary. It's like, either go all the way or don't do it at all. Okay, I will give them this. Marley, like, the full thing is kind of creepy. Like, it's not creepy in a good way. It's like creepy in a bad way, like a not fun way. I feel like I'm gonna be a broken record here, but it's like, it's not enough of the right emotion. They have like a hint of the right emotions for this, but it's not enough of that. And then everything else, it's like it's not necessarily the wrong emotions for the scenes and for the story, but at the same time, it's like they didn't hit the mark with a lot of the dialogue emotion. He actually says, "Woe is me." You know, I feel like Gary Oldman could have been a good choice for Marley. I feel like on the one hand, he is a good choice for Marley, but at the same time, it's just like, again, it's an issue on the dialogue, the script, and the emotion behind the dialogue not being right. I'll probably need to watch the George C. Scott one after this as a cleanser. And White Christmas is usually my first Christmas movie, and I'm watching this. Why am I doing this as my first one? The fact that he says, woe is me twice, it just makes me laugh, because it's like, who says that in all seriousness? I mean, maybe not today, but like, and maybe back then you would say that seriously. But like, at the end of the day, who says that in all seriousness? Who includes that in a script in seriousness? Who includes that in a script's dialogue? Woe is me, and has the actor deliver that line seriously? Like, who does that in seriousness? Serious. Okay. This movie's just making me laugh, and not in a good way. I didn't need to see that. That was an unnecessary creep factor. That was unnecessary, like the jaw dislocating. I know dead bodies do that. And they had the tie in all the other, or at least in the George C. Scott one, and then I think in the Patrick Stewart one they had that. But it's like, we didn't need him screaming, first off, and we didn't need the jaw coming down. That wasn't necessary. Again, we're like 25 minutes in. I don't know if I can get through this. I'm really gonna try because I love A Christmas Carol. He can't get his jaw back into place, so he's like pushing it up to talk. How do you take this seriously? Like, how is this creepy or scary to anyone when he's doing that? Like, again, like, I understand that is creepy, but so far in the 25 minutes, there's nothing that's been really serious or creepy or eerie about this. So it's like, that just, like I said, it's funny, but it's not a good funny. I'm not laughing because I'm enjoying this movie. I'm laughing at how almost stupid it is, sadly. How does anyone enjoy this? Like, I'm not questioning my friend's taste, but at the same time, I'm like, how does anyone enjoy this? I don't need the tongue visual. And now he finally gets his jaw back into place. He pushed his jaw too far. Like, how am I supposed to take this seriously? How am I supposed to believe that Scrooge is actually scared? Okay, I keep stopping recording because I'm like, I don't need like a full hour and 14 minutes of me reacting, but like, I'm like, oh, I need to get my reaction to this character or that character or whatever, you know? Why is she floating? Like, okay, she jumped, but why was she floating for so long? Why was she floating and spinning for so long? There's Belle. Okay, she doesn't look too bad. Like, yeah, she's pretty okay, but it's like, again, animation I don't like. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No. That's even creepier than seeing Jim Carrey's face. Like, it's the face of the Ghost of Christmas Past is transitioning between all the faces from Scrooge's past. And it's doing it kind of quickly, and it's almost worse than seeing... It's almost worse than seeing Jim Carrey's face. Oh, he does this. They do the George C. Scott one. That's the George C. Scott move. You don't need to make that. You didn't need to make that noise. Okay, that's different. What is with the purple? Nope, and we're gonna go down in a minute, aren't we? It's like, why was all that? That wasn't necessary. Oh geez, the Ghost of Christmas Present. Like, I get it, it's supposed to be like opulent and all, but it's like, I don't like the shimmery walls. I don't like to laugh.
Look up on me.
I'd rather not, thank you. I don't like this. What did he even grab onto? Okay, so the point is that he's getting an aerial vision cut. An aerial view, not vision. An aerial view of like everything, and then you got like the transition to like the city of Christmas Day that year. But it's like, what's the point of the aerial view? Because there are other ways to kind of scare Scrooge and make him realize, like, hey, I'm kind of a shitty person. What's the point of having it go on this long? Oh, that's just like the Hogwarts castle ride. With, like, the visual and going up and down and in and out. I would get so motion sick. What is the point? The whole, like, at least for me, the whole point in understanding for Scrooge around Christmas Present and cherishing Christmas Present was that he was out of the comfort of his home, which this is not giving. He's in the comfort of his home and he's not being taken out of that. Yes, that he has like the visual changes of like the room he's in being more Christmassy and lively, but he's still in the comfort of his home and like he knows that. So it's like he still has enough comfort in knowing that he's safe and at home that he can still kind of say that. Or again, like looking at George C. Scott especially, and also Michael Caine, looking at those two where like they're taken out of their homes and then they're left out of his home and in the cold until the ghost of Christmas yet to come comes to take him to the potential future Christmases. So that is where Scrooge is left raw and questioning, like, what did I do to deserve this? And then that's where he starts seeing, wait a second, that's what these people feel like. What did I do to deserve this? Whereas with this, he's not gonna have that realization. Or at least not, like, he'll have the realization, you know, but like, I was like, oh, I was a shitty person and I need to be kinder. But like, that was such a good aspect of those movies, where it's like, what did I do to deserve this? Being forced to take on the mindset of people who were without homes, without meals. Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, I cannot get over the animation. I don't like it. There are times where I'm like, I can kind of get past it, and then there are other times like Bob Cratchit's Family, I'm just like, I don't like it. And the other thing that too is that they were cooking their goose and it was small because that's all he could afford. Like, they couldn't afford to get someone else to cook their goose. It's like, okay, so, like, Scrooge tried walking away because he was embarrassed, and Ghost of Christmas Present keeps him there. Again, it's a situation where, like, he's in the safety of his home, so he feels comfortable, like, oh, I can walk away from this. Whereas in other versions, he's in the home, so he can't just walk away. Okay, so this part, ew, no. That was a bad place to pause it. Okay, so that part was, like, interesting where Scrooge is like, no, like, he can't die. And the spirit's like, if he's to die, then let him do it and decrease the surplus population, quoting Scrooge. Like he does in the other versions, quote Scrooge. But with this one, as he's quoting Scrooge, his face morphs into Scrooge's face, and then you hear Scrooge's voice quoting at the same time as the spirit's voice. And, like, that was, like, an interesting take, but I feel like, again, it's a stronger, more powerful thing for the spirit to reiterate his words without hearing Scrooge's voice at the same time. Because it's like, we know Scrooge said it, and the fact that the spirit is repeating it back to him, it's like, shit. I swear, some of these transitions, are we gonna get out of his house? Okay, so we're out of the house, out of Scrooge's home now. Okay, so when one of his guests, I don't know who his wife is, but I think that was just one of their guests. His guest is like, oh, I know who it is. It's your Uncle Scrooge. He got a little too excited when saying yes. Okay, they're in the clock tower. It's a hand.
Might be a claw.
That's weird. I don't like how they're talking because you have ignorance and wants. They're in the George C. Scott one. They don't talk in that one, and it's like you have the quietness of them, and you have how gaunt and skinny they are, and their image alone speaks a lot. And I feel like the image of these ones, anyway, not gonna talk about that part, but like their image, like especially even with these ones too, it's like their image alone, their look alone is enough. You know, they don't need, like, the talking doesn't help. Again, it's like it's trying to take itself seriously, it's trying to go with the creepy, eerie looks, you know, and vibes, but at the same time it's not going the full route. It's not going all the way. I'm just gonna repeat myself, so I'm gonna stop myself there for right now. Okay, we're getting dramatic. Again, it's not taking itself seriously, even though, like, it's trying to take itself seriously, but it's not doing the right things to take itself seriously. The bell's tolling, and like the Ghost of Christmas Present's like, crying out with each bell toll, and it's like, that part's not necessary. What is going on? So, like, the Ghost of Christmas Present fell over. The ignorance and want, they, like, aged up. He's like, are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? It's more powerful with the Ghost of Christmas Present saying it, but again, it's not taking itself seriously in the way it wants to take itself seriously. And he's dissolving away. What is this? I feel like it's a situation where if I had grown up on this one too, this was 2009, I feel like I would have been more forgiving of it. But I can't with this movie. At this point, I have to at least get to Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. Okay, never mind, we're getting the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come immediately. In his shadow, is he behind him? No, just a shadow. It's not creepy, spooky enough like it's trying to be. It's trying to, but it's not doing what it needs to do because, again, Disney is not willing to go that full step. That was a bit of a jump scare. I'll give it that. Oh, look, they have scary horses. What's going on? So this night carriage is going to take Scrooge somewhere. And again, it's a thing where if they'd if they had stuck to these darker visuals, it would have been a good kind of nitty-gritty Disney retelling of A Christmas Carol, but again, they don't stick with that. Kind of pointless right now. I don't even know what's going on. Like, seriously, I'm guessing it's to get him, kind of like corralling him to the next location. But it's like, what is the point of this horse and carriage chase? What's going on? It's like I was already lost, but this is losing me even more. Like, what is the point of this? Let's see, when did this start? Okay, so I'm at like 106. It's been going on for like 2 minutes. It's been like this carriage race has been going on for 2 minutes, and like 2 minutes too long. It's like go through Scrooge, like start the chase, have the carriage and horses go through Scrooge because there it's like Spirit World or whatever, and then have him at his next location. Like it didn't need to be like, let's see how long. It looks like it goes even to like 1 hour 8 minutes, so it's like 4 minutes because he suddenly shrunk and is in a pipe. I'm so confused. So it went on for at least 3-ish minutes. 3 minutes too long. Why is he small now? Why in all that is Christmas is he small? Like, why is he small? Why is this chase going on for 4 minutes? Jeez, he was about to be stomped on by the horse. What is the point about? Ouch. What is the point of all this? Like, there are parts of it that I do kind of like, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's very minor and it's not enough to make up for the whole. It's not enough to make up for the full hour and a half. It was the same thing in the Patrick Stewart one where they saw the dead body of Tiny Tim. It's one of those things where it's like they're willing to include, Disney was willing to let this be in the movie, let this make the cut, and they can't commit to the bit. Okay, I am skipping ahead a little bit. Falls into his grave, sees his casket, fiery pits of hell underneath. Again, they're willing to have some of these jump scares that could be genuinely scary, but because throughout the movie we don't have that like eerie tone leading up to these things, it's like I can't take it seriously. I can't take these jump scares seriously. Like, they're not actually scaring me, you know. I'm just skipping ahead at this point. I am still kind of skipping ahead, but I got to the scene where he arrives at Fred's home and he walks in, and it's kind of similar to the Patrick Stewart one where he kind of like comes in and it's like, hey, I'm here, Uncle Scrooge. But in this one, he walks in on the party scene where it's like the game. That is mean. Like, that's mean. That looks like Colin Firth. They're so animated and after him. Okay, so this is like the George. I can't with this. This is the George C. Scott version. I don't know. I don't like the fact that Bob Cratchit's narrating this last part. I do kind of like the book setup, but at the same time, it's just like, I'm not gonna, like, I do really like Andrea Bocelli, but I'm not gonna listen to that because I can't anymore with this. I would probably give that like a 2.5 out of 10 because even though there were a couple of like good moments here and there with this movie, it did not make up for the hour and a half that I just wasted. I will not watch it again, ever. I don't know why I watch it. That is the end of this video. I'm really sad I watched the movie, but you know what? It is what it is at this point. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.